The story guide is the quickest way for a new user to get from concept to completion of a finished treatment using Dramatica. It's also a great way to introduce yourself to Dramatica's concepts and how they're used. Essentially, the story guide is a list of questions. There's a Quickstart path with 50 questions or an advanced story guide path with 250 questions. I recommend the Quickstart path first because all of those questions also appear in the advanced story guide. So anything that you do in Quickstart, your work will be included in the larger story guide if you decide to go to that degree of detail later. The Quickstart says it can be completed in as little as 3 to 4 hours, but in fact, it can take as long as 3 to 4 days if you really spend time considering your answers to the questions. Let's take a look at Quickstart and see what's going on. Before we look at the content of specific questions, let's take a moment to go over the key features on this window. The first thing you'll notice is that the window seems to be divided into two halves, left and right, along this line. The left-hand side is the navigation area. The right-hand side is the information area. This line itself, by the way, you'll notice the cursor changes when it gets right over the line to a double arrow. By clicking and dragging, you can resize the question area to give a little more space for navigation with long questions, or a little more space for information on the right-hand side. Along the top is an overall title for your project, and when you enter the title of your story later on in the software, your title will replace the words "Your Story" here at the top of every screen. Over here is a smaller title bar over the information section. This will either describe the kind of information contained, in this case the Quickstart Story Guide Introduction, or it will ask the specific question which you will be answering down below. This area often has information about what kinds of questions are upcoming and how you want to approach them as an author, or also how to navigate through particular areas of the software. For example, at the bottom of the first screen it says, "Press Shift-Enter to advance to the next screen." The reason it's Shift-Enter instead of just Enter or Return is that authors generally, when entering information into the questions, will want to hit Return or Enter automatically as a paragraph change. If you entered Return and it shifted the question, it would get rather obnoxious. So by having Shift-Enter, that allows you to move through the questions and still use your typical writing habits when you're entering information. On the navigation side of the window, there are four main areas: the title of the question list in which you're working right now, the list of questions itself, the navigation buttons, and the progress indicators.